Your parents lied to you. Your teachers lied to you. Society lied to you. They told you that hard work was the secret to success, but they never told you when that work needed to happen. They never told you that the most important work you'll ever do happens in the first hour of your day, when nobody's watching, when nobody's paying you, when nobody even knows you're doing it. They never told you that successful people don't just work harder, they start stronger. They never told you that your entire destiny is shaped not by what you do during your career, but by what you do before your career starts each day. The reason most people struggle isn't because they don't try hard enough. It's because they're trying to build a skyscraper on quicksand. They're trying to run a marathon without training. They're trying to win a game they've already lost in the first hour. Here's something that changed my life forever. I was 35 years old, struggling to make ends meet. And I couldn't figure out why some people seemed to have it all together while I was constantly playing catch up. Then one day, I met a successful businessman who told me something so simple, yet so profound, that it shifted everything for me. He said, "Jim, show me how you spend your first hour, and I'll show you how your whole life will turn out." That hit me like a ton of bricks. You see, I had been starting my days like most people do. I'd roll out of bed, maybe grab a cup of coffee, check the news, worry about all the things I had to do, and then wonder why I felt behind before I even got started. I was letting my days happen to me, instead of making my days happen for me. Here's what I learned, and here's what I want to share with you today. Your first hour is not just another hour. It's the most important hour of your entire day. It's the hour that sets the tone, creates the momentum, and determines whether you'll be the person who makes things happen or the person who wonders what happened. Think about it this way. When you wake up in the morning, your mind is like a clean slate. You've got a fresh start, new energy, and the whole day ahead of you. What you choose to do with that first precious hour will echo through every minute that follows. It's like the first domino in a long line. Push it in the right direction, and everything else falls into place beautifully. Push it the wrong way, and you'll spend the rest of your day trying to recover. Most people don't understand this. They think all hours are created equal. They think it doesn't matter if they waste the first hour because they've got 23 more to make up for it. But that's not how life works. That's not how success works. That's not how personal development works. The successful people I've studied, the ones who've built great businesses, raised wonderful families, and created lives of meaning and prosperity, they all have one thing in common. They treat their first hour like it's made of gold. They protect it, they plan for it, and they use it intentionally. I remember talking to a CEO who built a company worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I asked him what he attributed his success to. He didn't talk about his business strategy or his marketing plan. He said, "Jim, I win my days in the first hour. Everything else is just execution." That's the truth right there. Everything else is just execution. Because when you start your day right, when you begin with purpose and intention, when you feed your mind and prepare your spirit, you create a foundation that nothing can shake. But here's what happens to most people. They wake up and immediately put themselves in a reactive state. The alarm goes off, and instead of taking control, they reach for their phone. They start scrolling through emails, checking social media, reading the news. Within minutes, their mind is filled with other people's problems, other people's opinions, other people's emergencies. By the time they get out of bed, they're already stressed, already overwhelmed, already feeling like they're behind. They've given away their power before the day even started. They've let the world set their agenda instead of setting their own. I used to do this myself. I'd wake up and immediately start thinking about all the problems I had to solve, all the people I had to call back, all the things that went wrong yesterday. I was starting each day from a place of deficit instead of a place of strength. Then I learned something that transformed everything. I learned that the first hour belongs to me. Not to my boss, not to my family, not to my phone, not to the news, not to anyone else's crisis. The first hour belongs to me, and I can use it to prepare myself for whatever the day might bring. Here's the simple truth. You cannot give what you do not have. If you start your day empty, you'll have nothing to give. If you start your day stressed, you'll spread stress to everyone around you. If you start your day without direction, you'll wander aimlessly until bedtime. But if you start your day filled up, prepared, focused, and intentional, you become a source of strength for everyone in your life. You become the person others can count on. You become the one who stays calm in the storm, who finds solutions when others see only problems, who radiates confidence when others are filled with doubt. The first hour is your opportunity to become that person. It's your chance to fill up your tank before you start giving to others. It's your time to sharpen your axe before you start chopping wood. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." That's what your first hour is about. It's about sharpening your axe. It's about preparing yourself so that when the challenges come, and they will come, you're ready. Most people have it backwards. They think they're too busy to spend time preparing. They think they need to jump right into action. But the busier you are, the more you need that first hour. The more challenges you're facing, the more important it becomes to start from a place of strength. I've watched people transform their entire lives by changing how they spend their first hour. I've seen struggling salespeople become top performers. Overwhelmed parents find peace and joy, and frustrated employees become successful entrepreneurs, all because they learned to use their first hour wisely. The secret is not complicated, but it is profound. It's about understanding that you have a choice. Every morning, you wake up with the power to choose how your day will go. You can choose to be reactive or proactive. You can choose to be prepared or unprepared. You can choose to be intentional or accidental. Your first hour is your daily vote for the kind of person you want to become and the kind of life you want to live. Miss that vote, and you're letting someone else decide for you. Cast that vote wisely, and you're taking control of your destiny. Now, here's what I see happening all around me. People wake up and immediately surrender their power. They don't do it on purpose. They don't wake up thinking, today I'm going to waste my most important hour. But that's exactly what they do. The alarm goes off, and instead of getting up with purpose, they hit the snooze button. Right there, in the first few seconds of consciousness, they're already choosing procrastination over action. They're already telling themselves that sleep is more important than their dreams. Then, when they finally drag themselves out of bed, they stumble to the kitchen, grab whatever's quickest for breakfast, and start their day nutritionally bankrupt. They're trying to run a high-performance life on low-quality fuel. While they're eating, they turn on the news or scroll through their phone, filling their mind with negativity, drama, and problems they can't solve. They start their day focused on everything that's wrong with the world instead of everything that's right with their opportunity. By the time they leave the house, they're already running late, already stressed, already feeling like they're playing catch-up. They spend their commute thinking about all the things they should have done yesterday and all the things they have to do today, but they don't spend any time thinking about who they want to be or how they want to show up. They arrive at work reactive, defensive, and overwhelmed. They spend their day putting out fires instead of building their future. They go through the motions instead of moving with intention. They survive instead of thrive. Then they come home exhausted, wondering why their life feels so chaotic, why they can't seem to get ahead, why success seems to come so easily to others but feels so difficult for them. The answer is simple. They're losing the battle in the first hour, and when you lose the first hour, you're fighting an uphill battle for the rest of the day. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I started my days in reaction mode. I'd wake up thinking about my problems, my bills, my failures, my fears. I'd rush through my morning routine, grab a quick breakfast, and head off to work already feeling defeated. My days were a series of reactions to whatever came at me. If someone called with a problem, my day became about their problem. If I got a disappointing email, my mood would shift and stay shifted for hours. If traffic was bad, I'd arrive at work frustrated and carry that frustration into every interaction. I was like a leaf in the wind, blown around by every circumstance, every phone call, every unexpected event. I had no anchor, no foundation, no center of strength to draw from when things got difficult. My income reflected this chaos. My relationships reflected this chaos. My health reflected this chaos. Everything in my life was inconsistent because I was inconsistent. I was starting every day from a place of weakness instead of a place of strength. Then I met that businessman I mentioned earlier. He was calm, confident, and incredibly successful. He seemed to handle every situation with grace and wisdom. I asked him how he did it, and that's when he shared the secret of the first hour. He told me, Jim, successful people don't have fewer problems than unsuccessful people. They just start their day from a stronger place. They fill up their tank first thing in the morning, so they have something to give when the world starts making demands. He explained that every morning, before he checked his phone, before he talked to anyone, before he dealt with any business issues. He spent his first hour preparing himself for the day. He exercised his body, fed his mind, and strengthened his... He reviewed his goals, practiced gratitude, and set his intentions. By the time I leave my house, he said, I'm not the same person who went to bed the night before. I'm stronger, more focused, more prepared. I'm ready for whatever the day might bring because I've already won the most important battle of the day. I've won the battle with myself. That conversation changed everything for me. I realized that I had been approaching my days like I was going into battle without armor, like I was trying to give water from an empty well, like I was expecting to perform at a high level without any preparation. I decided to try something different. Instead of starting my day by reacting to the world, I would start my day by preparing for the world. Instead of letting my circumstances determine my state of mind, I would determine my state of mind first and then face my circumstances from that place of strength. The transformation didn't happen overnight, but it did happen day by day. As I committed to using my first hour intentionally, I began to notice changes. I was calmer in difficult situations. I was more creative in solving problems. I was more patient with people. I was more confident in my decisions. My income started to increase because I was showing up as a different person. My relationships improved because I was bringing something positive to every interaction instead of just reacting to whatever energy others brought to me. Most importantly, I felt like I was finally living my life instead of just surviving it. I was no longer at the mercy of my circumstances. I had found my center, my source of strength, my daily opportunity to become the person I wanted to be. This is what the first hour can do for you. It's not magic, but it might as well be. When you consistently use your first hour to prepare yourself for success, you begin to experience what seems like magic in every other area of your life. But here's the thing, and this is important. You can't just stumble into a great first hour. You can't just hope it happens. You have to be intentional about it. You have to plan for it. You have to protect it like it's the most valuable thing you own. Because it is. The world will try to steal your first hour. Your phone will buzz with notifications. Your family will have immediate needs. Your mind will want to jump straight into problem-solving mode. But you have to resist these temptations. You have to guard your first hour like a treasure, because that's exactly what it is. Now, let me tell you what a powerful first hour looks like. It starts the night before. You can't wake up and figure out what to do with your first hour. You have to go to bed with a plan. You have to decide ahead of time how you're going to invest that precious time. Successful people understand that preparation is everything. They don't leave their most important hour to chance. They design it, they plan it, and they execute it with the same precision they would use for their most important business meeting. The first element of a powerful first hour is taking care of your body. Your body is your vehicle for everything you want to accomplish in life. If you don't maintain it, it won't serve you well. If you don't fuel it properly, it won't perform at its best. This doesn't mean you have to become a fitness fanatic or spend hours in the gym. It means you need to move your body, get your blood flowing, and wake up your physical systems. It could be a simple walk around the block, some basic stretching, or a few minutes of exercise. The key is consistency, not intensity. When you move your body first thing in the morning, You're sending a message to yourself that you're committed to taking care of the vehicle that will carry you through the day. You're generating energy instead of just hoping energy will come to you. The second element is feeding your mind with something positive and constructive. Your mind is like a garden. What you plant in it will grow. If you plant weeds, you'll get weeds. If you plant flowers, you'll get flowers. Most people start their day by planting weeds. They read the news, which is mostly negative. They check social media, which is mostly comparison and drama. They think about their problems, their fears, their past failures. Then they wonder why they feel anxious, overwhelmed, and discouraged. Instead, use your first hour to plant flowers in the garden of your mind. Read something inspiring. Listen to something educational. Think about your goals, your dreams, your possibilities. Fill your mind with ideas that will serve you throughout the day. I've made it a habit to read for at least 15 minutes every morning. Not the news, not emails, not social media, but books that challenge me to grow, that teach me something new, that inspire me to become better. This simple practice has probably contributed more to my success than any other single habit. The third element is connecting with your deeper purpose and values. In the rush of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of what really matters. We get so caught up in the urgent that we forget about the important. We get so focused on making a living that we forget about making a life. Your first hour is your opportunity to reconnect with what really matters to you. It's your time to remember why you're working so hard, what you're trying to accomplish, and what kind of person you want to become. This might involve reviewing your goals, practicing gratitude, praying, meditating, or simply sitting quietly and reflecting on your life. The specific practice doesn't matter as much as the intention behind it. You're taking time to connect with your deeper self, to remember what you stand for, and to align your actions with your values. When you start your day from this place of clarity and purpose, everything else becomes easier. You make better decisions because you're clear about what matters. You handle stress better because you're connected to something bigger than your immediate circumstances. You treat people better because you're operating from your highest self instead of your reactive self. The fourth element is setting clear intentions for the day ahead. Most people stumble through their days without any real plan or purpose. They react to whatever comes at them instead of proactively creating the day they want to have. In your first hour, take a few minutes to think about the day ahead. What are the most important things you need to accomplish? How do you want to show up in your interactions with others? What kind of energy do you want to bring to your work, your family, your relationships? This isn't about creating a rigid schedule that will stress you out when things don't go according to plan. It's about setting intentions that will guide your decisions and help you stay focused on what matters most. When you set clear intentions in the morning, you're much more likely to end the day feeling accomplished and satisfied. You're less likely to get distracted by things that don't really matter. You're more likely to make choices that align with your goals and values. These four elements, taking care of your body, feeding your mind, connecting with your purpose, and setting your intentions, form the foundation of a powerful first hour. They don't take a lot of time, but they create a lot of value. They're simple to do, but they're also simple not to do. That's the challenge. The things that matter most in life are usually simple, but they're not easy. They require discipline, consistency, and a commitment to doing what's right instead of what's convenient. Anyone can have one great morning. The power comes from having great mornings consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month. That's when the compound effect kicks in. That's when small daily disciplines create major life changes. I've seen people transform their entire lives by committing to just 30 minutes each morning. 30 minutes of intentional, focused preparation that changes everything. 30 minutes that turns reactive people into proactive people. Overwhelmed people into organized people. Struggling people into successful people. But here's what I want you to understand. This isn't about perfection. You don't have to have the perfect morning routine. You don't have to get up at 4 in the morning. You don't have to spend 2 hours preparing for your day. You just have to do something intentional with your first hour instead of letting it happen to you. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. The important thing is to start. Take control of your first hour and you'll be amazed at how it impacts every other hour of your day. The beautiful thing about focusing on your first hour is that it creates momentum for everything else. When you start your day with intention, discipline, and purpose, you carry that energy into every other activity. When you begin from a place of strength, you handle challenges with greater ease. When you fill up your tank first, you have more to give throughout the day. This is the secret that successful people understand, but don't always talk about. They know that success isn't just about what you do during business hours. It's about how you prepare for business hours. It's about the foundation you build before you start building anything else. Your first hour is your foundation. Build it strong. Build it intentionally. And everything else you construct on top of it will be more solid, more stable, and more likely to stand the test of time. Now let me share with you how to design a morning routine that works for your specific situation. Because here's the truth. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to a powerful first hour. What works for me might not work for you. What works for a single person might not work for a parent. What works for someone who exercises might not work for someone who doesn't. The key is to understand the principles and then adapt them to fit your life, your schedule, and your goals. The principles are universal, but the application is personal. First, let's talk about timing. You don't have to get up at 5 in the morning to have a powerful first hour. You just have to get up early enough to have some time for yourself before the demands of the day take over. For some people, that might be 6:30. For others, it might be 5. The specific time doesn't matter as much as protecting that time. Here's what does matter. You need to wake up before your responsibilities wake up. You need to have some time when you're not immediately pulled into reactive mode. You need space to be proactive instead of reactive. If you have young children, your first hour might need to be earlier or later than someone without children. If you work night shifts, your first hour might be in the afternoon instead of the morning. The principle remains the same. Carve out time for intentional preparation before you dive into the demands of your day. Second, let's talk about length. You don't need hours and hours for this to be effective. Even 15 minutes of intentional preparation is better than no preparation at all. Start with what you can manage consistently and then expand from there. I'd rather see you commit to 15 minutes every day than plan for an hour and only do it occasionally. Consistency beats intensity when it comes to building life-changing habits. Small daily actions create big long-term results. If you're just starting, try this simple 15-minute routine. Spend 5 minutes moving your body, even if it's just stretching or walking around your house. Spend 5 minutes reading something positive or educational. Spend 5 minutes thinking about your goals and setting intentions for the day. That's it. 15 minutes that could change everything. 15 minutes that could be the difference between a reactive day and a proactive day. 15 minutes that could transform you from someone who lets life happen to them into someone who makes life happen for you. As you build consistency with 15 minutes, you can expand to 30 minutes, then 45 minutes, then an hour. But don't start with an hour if you're not already in the habit of protecting your morning time. Start small, build the habit, and then expand. Third, let's talk about flexibility. Your morning routine needs to be adaptable. Life happens. You'll have mornings when you're traveling, when you're sick, when unexpected things come up. Instead of using these exceptions as excuses to abandon your routine entirely, have a backup plan. Maybe your full routine is an hour, but your minimum routine is 10 minutes. Maybe your ideal routine includes a workout, but your backup routine is just 5 minutes of stretching. Maybe your preferred routine includes 30 minutes of reading, but your emergency routine is just reviewing your goals. The key is to never let circumstances eliminate your first hour entirely. Always do something, even if it's not everything you normally do. This keeps the habit alive and prevents you from falling back into reactive patterns. Fourth, let's talk about personalization. Your morning routine should reflect your goals, your personality, and your current life situation. If your goal is to get in better physical shape, make sure movement is a key part of your routine. If your goal is to learn new skills, make sure education is included. If your goal is to reduce stress, make sure you include some form of relaxation or meditation. Don't copy someone else's routine just because it worked for them. Use their ideas as inspiration, but create something that fits your life and serves your specific goals. For example, if you're not naturally a morning person, don't try to become someone who springs out of bed at 5 a.m. ready to run 5 miles. Start with something gentler. Maybe your routine begins with a few minutes of quiet reflection, then some light stretching, then reading while you have your coffee. If you are naturally energetic in the morning, take advantage of that energy. Maybe your routine includes a more intense workout, some challenging reading, and time for planning and goal setting. The key is to work with your natural tendencies instead of against them, while still pushing yourself to grow and improve. Fifth, let's talk about environment. Your physical environment has a huge impact on your ability to maintain a consistent morning routine. If your workout clothes are buried in the closet, you're less likely to exercise. If your books are in another room, you're less likely to read. If your journal is nowhere to be found, you're less likely to write. Set up your environment the night before. Lay out your workout clothes. Put your book on your nightstand. Have your journal and pen ready. Make it as easy as possible to do the things you want to do, and as difficult as possible to do the things you want to avoid. This might mean keeping your phone in another room so you're not tempted to check it first thing. It might mean setting up a comfortable reading chair with good lighting. It might mean having healthy breakfast options readily available. Small changes in your environment can make a big difference in your ability to stick to your routine. Don't underestimate the power of convenience when it comes to building positive habits. Now, let me share some examples of powerful morning routines that real people have used to transform their lives. These aren't theoretical ideas. These are practical approaches that have produced real results for real people. Sarah is a working mother of 2 young children. She used to feel overwhelmed and exhausted before her day even started. Her mornings consisted of getting the kids ready, dealing with their needs, and trying to get everyone out the door on time. By the time she got to work, she was already stressed and behind. Sarah decided to start waking up 30 minutes earlier. She used those 30 minutes for herself before her children woke up. Her routine was simple: 10 minutes of light exercise, 10 minutes of reading, and 10 minutes of planning her day and practicing gratitude. The transformation was remarkable. Sarah found that she was calmer and more patient with her children. She was more organized and effective at work. She felt like she had reclaimed some control over her life. Those 30 minutes became the foundation that made everything else work better. Mike is a salesperson who was struggling to meet his targets. His mornings used to start with checking emails and immediately diving into problem-solving mode. He'd spend his first hour dealing with whatever crisis had emerged overnight, which meant he started every day reactive and stressed. Mike redesigned his first hour around preparation instead of reaction. He started with 20 minutes of exercise to get his energy up. Then he spent 20 minutes reading sales and personal development books. Finally, he spent 20 minutes reviewing his goals, visualizing successful outcomes, and planning his most important activities for the day. His sales performance improved dramatically. More importantly, he enjoyed his work more because he was approaching it from a place of strength and preparation instead of stress and reaction. Linda is a retiree who found herself feeling purposeless and depressed after leaving her career. Her days had no structure, and she often stayed in bed late, watched too much television, and felt like her life lacked meaning. Linda created a morning routine that gave her day structure and purpose. She started with 15 minutes of gentle yoga, followed by 15 minutes of journaling, and finished with 30 minutes of reading books about topics that interested her. This simple routine gave her something to look forward to each day. It created a sense of purpose and growth that carried over into other areas of her life. She started volunteering, reconnected with old friends, and began pursuing hobbies she had neglected during her working years. These examples show that a powerful first hour isn't about following someone else's formula. It's about understanding the principles and applying them in a way that fits your life and serves your goals. The common thread in all these stories is intentionality. Sarah, Mike, and Linda all stopped letting their mornings happen to them and started making their mornings happen for them. They all protected their first hour and used it to prepare for the day ahead instead of just reacting to whatever came at them. But here's what I want you to understand about building a powerful morning routine. It's not just about the hour itself. The real magic happens in how that hour impacts every other hour of your day. When you start your day with intention, you're more likely to make intentional choices throughout the day. When you start your day with discipline, you're more likely to maintain that discipline when faced with temptations or distractions. When you start your day connected to your deeper purpose, you're more likely to make decisions that align with your values. Your first hour creates a ripple effect that touches every area of your life. It's like dropping a stone in a still pond. The initial splash is just the beginning. The real impact comes from the ripples that spread out in all directions. This is why changing your first hour can change your entire life. It's not just about feeling better in the morning, although that's certainly a benefit. It's about becoming a different person, someone who operates from strength instead of weakness, from intention instead of reaction, from preparation instead of chaos. Let me tell you about the long-term compound effect of mastering your first hour. This is where the real transformation happens. This is where small daily disciplines create major life changes. Imagine two people starting their careers at the same time, with the same education, the same opportunities, and the same potential. The only difference is how they spend their first hour each day. A person starts each day reactively. They check their phone immediately, fill their mind with news and social media, rush through their morning routine, and arrive at work already feeling behind and overwhelmed. They spend their days putting out fires, reacting to whatever comes at them, and feeling like they're always playing catch-up. Person B starts each day intentionally. They use their first hour to exercise, read, reflect, and prepare. They arrive at work calm, focused, and clear about their priorities. They spend their days proactively working toward their goals, making thoughtful decisions, and consistently improving their skills and knowledge. After one day, the difference between them might be barely noticeable. After 1 week, person B might seem slightly more organized and focused. After 1 month, the gap begins to widen. Person B is handling stress better, performing at a higher level, and developing new skills. After 1 year, the difference is significant. Person B has read dozens of books, developed stronger habits, built better relationships, and positioned themselves for advancement. The person A is still struggling with the same challenges, still feeling overwhelmed, still wondering why success seems so elusive. After 5 years, they're living in completely different worlds. Person B has been promoted multiple times, has developed expertise in their field, has built a network of valuable relationships, and has the confidence and skills to take on bigger challenges. Person A is still in the same place, wondering what they're doing wrong, feeling stuck and frustrated. After 10 years, the compound effect is undeniable. Person B has built a successful career, accumulated wealth, developed strong relationships, and created a life of meaning and purpose. Person A is still struggling, still reactive, still wondering why life seems so much easier for other people. The difference wasn't talent. It wasn't luck. It wasn't connections or circumstances. The difference was how they spent their first hour, day after day, year after year. Small daily disciplines compounded into major life changes. This is the power of the compound effect. It's not about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do consistently. It's not about dramatic changes. It's about small improvements that add up over time. Your first hour is your daily deposit in the bank account of your future. Each day, you can make a deposit that moves you closer to your goals, or you can make a withdrawal that moves you further away. The choice is yours, and you make it fresh every morning. But here's what's really exciting about this. You don't have to wait years to see results. The benefits of a powerful first hour start immediately. From your very first day of intentional morning preparation, You'll notice a difference in how you feel, how you think, and how you perform. You'll have more energy because you've moved your body. You'll have better ideas because you've fed your mind. You'll make better decisions because you've connected with your values and goals. You'll handle stress better because you've started from a place of strength instead of weakness. These immediate benefits create momentum that makes it easier to maintain the habit. You'll want to protect your first hour because you'll quickly see how much it improves your entire day. You'll defend it against interruptions because you'll realize how valuable it is. As days turn into weeks and weeks turn into months, the benefits compound. You become stronger, smarter, more focused, more disciplined. You develop skills that serve you in every area of life. You build confidence that comes from knowing you can count on yourself to do what you say you'll do. Eventually, protecting and investing your first hour becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. It's not something you have to think about or motivate yourself to do. It's just part of who you are. It's part of your identity as someone who takes responsibility for their life and invests in their future. This is when the real transformation happens. This is when you become the person who makes things happen instead of the person who wonders what happened. This is when you realize that success isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create through your daily choices and habits. Now, let me address some of the challenges you might face as you work to master your first hour. Because let's be honest, if this were easy, everyone would be doing it. The fact that most people struggle with their mornings is exactly why mastering yours gives you such a significant advantage. The first challenge is resistance. Your mind will come up with dozens of reasons why you don't need to change your morning routine. It will tell you that you're fine the way you are, that you don't have time, that it won't make a difference, that you can start tomorrow instead of today. This resistance is normal. It's your brain's way of trying to keep you in your comfort zone. But remember, growth happens outside your comfort zone. The things that will improve your life are often the things that feel uncomfortable at first. Through the resistance. Start small if you need to, but start. Take action despite how you feel, because action changes everything. You can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way into a new life. The second challenge is consistency. It's one thing to have a great morning routine for a few days or even a few weeks. It's another thing to maintain it consistently over months and years. Life will get in the way. You'll have days when you don't feel like it. You'll have situations that disrupt your normal schedule. The key to consistency is flexibility within structure. Have non-negotiable elements that you do every day, but be flexible about how you do them. If you can't do your full routine, do a shortened version. If you can't do it at your normal time, do it at a different time. The important thing is to never completely abandon your commitment to starting your day intentionally. The third challenge is perfectionism. You'll have mornings when your routine doesn't go perfectly. You'll oversleep, get interrupted, or feel like you didn't do as well as you could have. Don't let imperfect mornings derail your entire effort. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. A mediocre morning routine is infinitely better than no morning routine at all. Keep showing up, keep trying, keep improving. Every day is a new opportunity to do better than yesterday. The fourth challenge is social pressure. Not everyone will understand or support your commitment to your morning routine. Some people might think you're being too rigid or taking it too seriously. They might pressure you to skip your routine for social activities or family obligations. Stand firm in your commitment. Explain to others why this is important to you, but don't expect everyone to understand. Some people will try to pull you back down to their level because your growth makes them uncomfortable with their own lack of growth. Surround yourself with people who support your commitment to personal development. Find others who understand the value of intentional living. Build relationships with people who inspire you to be better rather than people who encourage you to settle for less. The fifth challenge is measuring progress. The benefits of a powerful first hour are often subtle and gradual. Unlike a diet where you can see numbers on a scale or an exercise program where you can measure physical improvements, the benefits of a morning routine are more internal and harder to quantify. Keep a journal of how you feel and what you accomplish. Notice changes in your energy levels, your mood, your productivity, your relationships. Look for patterns and improvements over time. Celebrate small wins and acknowledge progress even when it doesn't feel dramatic. Remember, the most important changes often happen slowly and quietly. You're becoming a different person, and that transformation takes time. Trust the process, stay consistent, and have faith that your efforts are creating positive changes even when you can't see them immediately. Let me share with you a personal story that illustrates the life-changing power of the first hour. About 15 years ago, I was going through a particularly challenging period in my life. My business was struggling, my relationships were strained, and I felt like I was failing in every area that mattered to me. I was starting my days in panic mode, immediately diving into problem solving, trying to figure out how to fix everything that was wrong. I'd wake up with my mind already racing, thinking about all the calls I needed to make, all the problems I needed to solve, all the ways I was falling short. By the time I got to my office, I was already exhausted. I was reactive, defensive, and overwhelmed. I made poor decisions because I was operating from a place of fear and scarcity instead of wisdom and abundance. One morning I decided I couldn't continue this way. I made a commitment to change how I started my days. Instead of jumping immediately into crisis mode, I would spend my first hour preparing myself to handle whatever challenges awaited me. I started with just 30 minutes. I'd wake up a half hour earlier and use that time to read something positive, do some light exercise, and review my goals. It wasn't dramatic, but it was intentional. The change was almost immediate. I felt calmer, more centered, more prepared. When problems arose, I handled them with greater wisdom and less emotion. When opportunities presented themselves, I was mentally prepared to recognize and act on them. Within 6 months, my business had turned around. Within a year, I was more successful than I had ever been. But more importantly, I felt like I was in control of my life instead of being controlled by my circumstances. That experience taught me that success isn't about working harder. It's about preparing better. It's about starting each day from a place of strength instead of weakness, clarity instead of confusion, intention instead of reaction. Now, let me give you a challenge. For the next 30 days, commit to protecting and investing your first hour. Decide tonight how you're going to spend tomorrow morning and then follow through. Do this consistently for 30 days and watch what happens to every other area of our life. Don't wait until you have the perfect plan. Don't wait until you feel motivated. Don't wait until your schedule clears up. Start tomorrow morning with whatever time you can protect, even if it's just 15 minutes. Use that time to move your body, feed your mind, connect with your purpose, and set your intentions. Do something, anything, that represents an investment in yourself and your future rather than a reaction to your circumstances. Here's what I know will happen. By day 7, you'll start to notice changes in your energy and mood. By day 14, you'll start to see improvements in your productivity and relationships. By day 21, other people will start to notice that you're different, calmer, more focused. By day 30, you'll be convinced. You'll understand that your first hour isn't just another hour. It's the foundation upon which you build everything else. You'll protect it fiercely because you'll know how much it costs when you don't. But here's the most important thing I want you to remember. This isn't about becoming a different person overnight. This is about becoming the person you already are at your best, consistently. This is about accessing your highest potential every single day instead of just occasionally. You already have everything you need to succeed. You already have the wisdom, the strength, the creativity, and the determination. The question is whether you're going to create the conditions that allow these qualities to emerge, or whether you're going to continue starting each day in a way that keeps them buried. Your first hour is your opportunity to create those conditions. It's your chance to prime yourself for success instead of setting yourself up for struggle. It's your daily vote for the kind of person you want to become and the kind of life you want to live. The choice is yours, and you make it fresh every morning. You can choose to be reactive or proactive. You can choose to be prepared or unprepared. You can choose to fill up your tank or try to run on empty. Whatever you choose will echo through every other hour of your day, every other day of your week, every other week of your year, and every other year of your life. Choose wisely. Choose intentionally. Choose to make your first hour the foundation of a life well. The time to start is now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you get your life together. Now, this moment is your moment. Tomorrow morning is your opportunity. Take it, protect it, invest it wisely, and watch as that single hour transforms not just your days, but your entire life. Remember, success is not a destination. It's a daily discipline, and that discipline begins with how you spend your first hour. Make it count, because everything else counts on it. Thank you for your attention, and more importantly, thank you in advance for taking action. Your future self is depending on the choices you make starting tomorrow morning. Don't let yourself down. The life you've always wanted is waiting for you on the other side of a disciplined first hour.